Focus isn't about gripping tightly to a task. It's about choosing where our attention rests and gently returning to it when it wanders off, again and again. Hello, friend, and welcome to Torches, Yoga, and Mindfulness. I'm Lauren, and I'll be your coach. Today, we are getting into mindfulness skill number 7, which is focus. Our world trains our brains to be scattered. Multitasking, overloaded schedules, constant simulations pulling our attention in 1,000 different directions. And then we're left wondering why we're exhausted, foggy, and disconnected. Every uncompleted task, every unfinished thought, every notification from our devices is a small energy leak. Mindfulness helps us to reclaim that energy, training our attention like a muscle. It teaches us how to stop the leaks and come back to what really matters, the present moment. Neuroscience shows us that every time we notice that our mind has wandered and we gently bring it back, whether we're bringing it back to our breath, our environment, our bodies, we're strengthening our prefrontal cortex. And that's the area of our brain that's responsible for our decision making and our rational thought. Now, you may be thinking, but Coach Lauren, what if I struggle as it is to even notice in the first place that my mind has wandered? Well, have no fear, there are no prerequisites. You can start implementing practices of focus into your life now, but the first skill of mindfulness is awareness, which helps us to notice when the mind has wandered. And you can find practices to sharpen your awareness skill on my channel in the 8 Skills of Mindfulness playlist. But for now, just consider this. You are not your thoughts. You are the one that observes them. Food for thought. So, focus and attention aren't just skills and processes that get us through our day. What we focus on shapes our lives. So, what does your focus say about you? If our focus is constantly getting pulled away by distractions, comparisons, or things you don't even want to care about, how much of you is getting lost in the process? Focus isn't just a productivity skill. It's a practice of self-respect. It's about honoring yourself enough to choose what gets your attention and what doesn't. Focus says, this is my mind, my time, my energy, my peace, and I choose to give them to what is real, what is true, and what nourishes me. While coming up with the outline of what I wanted to talk about in this video to introduce the focus skill to y'all, it popped in my mind a memory of a mantra that early on in my practice I used to carry with me. I would say it 10, 20 times a day, and I said it for years. It was one of my anchors that stuck with me during my transformation and during all my healing, and it was this: only I can destroy my peace, and I choose not to do so. And this mantra helped me to reclaim my mind, reclaim my time, reclaim my peace over and over again. And even though I don't use it every day, I may only use it a couple times a year now, it still resonates in me, and it still reminds me that I get to choose where my attention goes. Only I can destroy my peace, and I choose not to do so. So this week, I want you to practice focusing your attention on one small practice that's already a part of your daily routine, whether it's washing your face or brushing your teeth, walking the dog or washing the dishes. Each time your mind wanders during these tasks, just notice. No judgment, no shame, a gentle return to what's true and what's present. And that's the whole practice. All right, so I do have another practice to share with you today, and this is one I actually posted early on, as the second video on my channel here at Torches Coaching. But I just found it too fitting not to share again. And this one I call mindful driving. And if you're not a regular driver or a driver at all, these principles of this practice can be applied to any of the mundane tasks that we do, whether it's washing the dishes, walking the dog, any of our day-to-day responsibilities. Step 1, we're going to acknowledge the task at hand. So if we're going to be mindfully driving, as we get settled into our driver's seat, we're going to set our intention acknowledging the task at hand. I'm going to mindfully drive to my destination. Get settled into the seat, get your buckle on, let everything that has happened from the day prior just kind of melt away, and let everything that is to come stay there in the future. Right now, we're mindfully driving to our destination. And then step 2, we're going to notice our physical environment, taking in the things nearest to us first. I can feel my seat beneath me supporting me. I can feel the pedals under my feet. I can feel the steering wheel in my hand. Notice any temperatures or textures, and then take notice if there's any smells or sounds in your environment. And we're going to keep our focus on these elements of our physical environment as they change along our route. If you happen to notice along your journey that intrusive thoughts have crept in, like maybe now you're replaying a conversation you had the other day, or running through scenarios of what you want to do later, gently remind yourself, nope, I am mindfully driving to my destination. And bring your attention back to the physical environment around you. Notice the cars, notice the vibrations, notice the sounds. This practice helps train our brains to engage in and stay engaged in mindful practices as we move through the mundane responsibilities and tasks of our day-to-day lives. Because mindfulness doesn't mean we have to change our lives, just how we approach it. Maybe while you're driving, you're sailing along, hitting all the lights green. It's a wonderful, smooth ride, which is a great opportunity to bring a little gratitude into the practice. But then somebody cuts you off. They just swoop right in front of you, making you slam on your brakes. And now they've just ruined the whole flow. They disrupted everything. But we still want to treat our thoughts about this interaction, about getting cut off. We still want to treat it just like those intrusive, distracting thoughts that were trying to come in earlier. If we keep our mind on that inconvenience and in that story about how he was so rude to have cut us off and I was here first, it's the story and the judgments that we make about it that create that emotional upset that keep us still spiraling and still mad about it 10 minutes later. Because if you really think about it, is anything actually wrong? Okay, yeah, they could have acted better, they could have driven better, but so can we after the fact by just letting it be. It happened, it passed, and that's all there is to it. As opposed to leaving us sitting there spiraling and stewing about it for 5 minutes while that other driver is just now off living his life, not even giving it a second thought, which will ultimately just spoil and impair our mood for when we do get to our destination. All right, my friend, please remember that focus isn't about being perfect. It's about learning to come back. It's more than just staying on task. It's about honoring yourself to choose what gets your attention. You deserve to give your best energy to the things that matter most. And that starts with a single breath of awareness. All right, friend, if you were just joining us for the Skills of Mindfulness series, you can catch skills 1 through 6 in the playlist on my channel at Torches Coaching, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss your daily dose of mindfulness. My friend, thank you for sharing a piece of your day with me. Stay present, stay kind to yourself, and I will see you soon.